Hey guys, fishing and stuff. Today I got 8 more fishing hacks that I think you're gonna find interesting. So stick around. Today I've got 8 new fishing hacks that I think you're gonna find useful. If this is your first time on my channel, then go check out my channel page. I've got a lot of DIYs that'll help save you some money. And if you like it, click subscribe and click the bell so that YouTube will notify you when I post videos and you can watch them. Now let's don't waste a bunch of time and let's get into these fishing hacks. Fishing hack number 1. I see a lot of stuff online where people talk about they run Gamakatsu or they run Mustad or they run something else and their hooks are breaking. And I'm mostly focusing this towards the catfish and the striper guys. And I watch videos all the time, and I do it myself, where you gotta use your needle nose pliers to get the hook out of the fish's mouth. But I got to thinking, I'm a fabricator and I think like one. Well, if you're having a hard time bending a piece of metal, you can score it and it'll bend easier because it makes it weaker. There's actually things people make that are so structural that you have to use a certain type of gas and you have to use a certain type of wire because you can't sand off the slag if any gets on it, because sanding it will make it weaker. Any scratch on metal weakens the metal. A lot of people now are running 60 to 80 pounds braid with their drag locked down and their hooks are breaking. Well, I started thinking about it and I just wonder if they're scratching their hooks maybe. So I decided to run a little test. I'm gonna scratch one of these hooks. I'm gonna see if it breaks easier. And I'm just gonna take some needle nose pliers. All I'm doing is scratching it up. This is just a scratch. It's not cut, it's just scarred up a little bit. But now we're gonna see if it'll break. Now that I got some good scratches in it, I'm gonna get me 2 pair of pliers and see if I can break it. And there you go. Just as I assumed, it broke, and it broke right where it was scratched too. Now I'm gonna see if I can break a hook that don't have any scratches on it. That thing's tougher than it looks. Well, the one that wasn't scarred didn't break, but it bent pretty good. This one that was scarred snapped. The other one bent, and it poked a dang hole in my thumb too. I mean, you don't have to take this as solid evidence, but it proves a lot to me. Where I scratched it is exactly where it broke. So when you're taking the hooks out of the fish's mouth, you can do a lot of damage to your hooks. But I got an idea that might remedy this. I got an old pair of needle nose here. I'm gonna clean these up with some Scotch-Brite or some steel wool. Then I'm gonna take some alcohol and get everything off of it that I can and make it clean. After I'm done with that, I got some plasti dip that I bought. Now I'm gonna dip it in here. Just take your time and go down, pull it back out, and you need something to hang it on and let it dry. I just hung mine over the edge of the table so they can dry. I only put 1 coat of plasti dip on these pliers, but I believe it's gonna work. Maybe this will help you not to scratch your hooks and not give it a weak point to break at. Fishing hack number 2. I like using jig heads and soft plastics a lot. Bass fishing and crappie fishing. I like the jig heads that don't have a collar like this one. The ones with this little collar, when you put your soft plastic on it, a lot of times it deforms your bait. And it's hard to find jig heads that are collarless. So on this hack, I'm gonna show you how you can take a jig head like this and make it a jig head like this. All you need is a pair of side cutters or dikes, and you can make them yourself. All you do is cut up around the round part of the head and then run your dikes along the side of the hook and just clip off both sides. Well, when you're through, you take a collared jig head and you got a collarless jig head. Just don't apply a super amount of pressure, so when you cut through the lead, you won't hurt your hook. Hack number 3. Have you ever been pulling up your anchor and you pull it up so fast that you don't know you almost got it up and you hit the bottom of your boat with it? Well, I don't like tearing up my boat, and there's a way to prevent that from happening. What you need to do is measure off 10 foot of rope. And when you get to the 10-foot mark, tie a knot in it. That way when you get to the knot, you know the anchor's almost to the bottom of your boat. If you need an anchor, by the way, I just made a video about an anchor that comes apart into 2 pieces and it's pretty cool.
Fishing hack number 4.
This is also an anchor hack. Most people know what these are. They're called cable cuffs. Well, what you do with them is when you wrap up your drop cord, you can lock it in here and it'll keep from making a mess. Well, they work good on anchor ropes too. Once you get your anchor out of the water and you get your rope situated, just clip this thing around it. Then your rope's all nice and neat in one place and you ain't got no mess next time you throw it out there.
Hack number 5.
I made a video a while back about these DIY reel covers I made. And I made them from cup cozies. They were really cheap and they work pretty dang good for keeping your reels protected. When I made this, everybody wanted me to make a rod cover or a rod sock. So that's what I'm doing. So I bought this stuff right here. And what this is expandable braided sleeve. I bought the 1.5 inch. I got 25 foot and it's black. But the more of this you buy, the cheaper you're gonna get it. I bought mine off of Amazon, and what you use it for, right here some, but they use it to cover up wires and hoses to protect them. Well, they also use this to make rod socks, and that's what we're gonna do. The first thing we need to do is measure ourselves a piece long enough. Now, I've used scissors to cut this stuff, but honestly, scissors just makes a mess out of it. So what I prefer to use is a pair of dikes. Side cutters will cut right through it, and it doesn't make such a mess. All right, next thing you'll need is some heat shrink tube. This is 1/2 inch heat shrink tube. Next, what you want to do is roll your end up. Take the end and just kind of roll it up tight. Then stick your heat shrink tube on it, and then we're going to get the heat gun out and we're going to shrink that down until it's tight. Okay, now we got our end done. Once you get your heat shrink tube on it, let it cool down and get kind of hard, and then take your dikes and trim it off. Now I got this old grape juice bottle. That's all it is grape juice. I ain't no wino. I'm going to use this for the other end. What we want to do is you want to fold the other end inside itself, like you're turning your socks inside out. Well, then we're going to put it on this grape juice bottle. We're going to heat it up with the heat gun so it'll stay that way permanently. You do this end, and you got yourself a rod sock. Fits pretty dang good.
Fishing hack number 6.
All right, for this next hack, you ever been out there fishing and you get that fish slime all over you? Especially if you're using live bait, you're getting all blood and guts all over your hands. Well, I take a little bottle. You can buy these little bottles for like $1 or 50 cents. And you can use an old hairspray bottle or something your wife's throwing away. But I take vinegar and pour in my bottle and keep it on my boat. Because washing your hands with lake water don't get the smell off of them. And it really don't get the bacteria off of them either. And you're out there and you want to eat a sandwich or something, and you got bacteria and stinky fish guts all over your hands, you can spray vinegar on them and then wash them off, and they won't smell as bad.
Fishing hack number 7.
I got several videos on making dragon weights, and what dragon weights are, if you use a Santee rig, you use a float on your leader, and these weights drag across the bottom, and they don't get hung on stuff because of the shape of them. I got one video about solid core lead dragon weights. I got a video on how you can make a drift stick, and it's just like a drift stick. See, the thing I like about the solid core is it's fast and easy to make. And when you're going to fish, if you're fishing in a tournament or something, you want something fast and easy. Well, this next hack is pretty fast to make them, and it's just another way you can make a drift weight. You just need some plastic dip, just like on the other hack. And you can tie some sinkers on a line, like these two, or you can use the solid core. All you do is take these and dip them in the plastic dip, hang them on something and let them dry. Well, after these things dry, they clean up everything really nice. And it kind of looks a lot like heat shrink tube, but it's fast.
And last but not least, fishing hack number 8.
I was thinking, what if you took a spoon and you and then you drilled 2 of course you gotta make sure you put on your oh, and we're gonna need a hook. But if we did do all that, we just made a spoon out of a spoon.
I'm just saying. And there you have it. 8 fishing hacks, and hopefully you found something useful. If you like this video, click that like button. And if you're not subscribed, then what you waiting on? I appreciate you watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next build.